What up?
Houston Rockets. We are, of course, in more trade talks. All the way up until February, we're going to be in trade talks. I feel.
Okay,
Um,
but dig this, right?
yes.
So we were laughing at a lot of that trade stuff that we see because that's comical to me.
Yes.
Uh, but I don't even want to sit here and dissect the mock or the what would you call them, like
Rumors. And
rumors or whatever.
yeah,
Like, how would you feel if we did nothing?
I like it.
I like it more than doing
You're
something I don't want to do.
you're second in the West right now. You're competing. You have young talent. You have assets.
Okay, think about it from just that one point.
Yeah.
You're second in the West, right? I don't feel like it's a fluke at this point. Like, we're legit because everybody who's up there with us, we beat you. Some
Yeah.
people multiple times. And
Yeah.
then we've gone to the East and we've had really good games. So at this point, I think that we're I don't say title contenders, but we're not fake. Like, it's not just momentum carrying over game to game. No, this is who we are. So
Yeah.
like, by that logic, it's like, if we as devout Rockets fans are like, well, what are we? But we know we're legit. Who, like, what are? I can't get rid of something if every game is something we play differently or different people. And the reason I say that is, like, I believe our depth is what makes us good, and I'm not willing to give up depth for one player.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
me,
I mean,
that's just foolish. Because think about it, Tari got hurt, Tate came in, no problem.
Jabari's out. You got
Jabari's
guys
out.
like
Amen comes in, scored 23 and 16 as a power forward. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, our depth is what makes us dangerous, I think.
I mean, you quality of depth on your bench for pretty much any team that you're going to play in the playoffs. If you need to go big, you got Steven Adams in them. If you need to go small, you can always throw Jeff Green in them in there. Um,
Mhm.
it really is beautiful to watch. Ime, he kind of has a feel now of, okay, when we play this team matchups this way, we're going to use these guys, Jay Shante and them. We're going to use these guys. And then injuries, of course, injuries can happen. Injuries, especially in the playoffs. It's a long season. You said depth is important. Tari Eason, if he comes back, when he comes back, I mean, that's going to be great. But as of right now, with him and Jabari out, we've honestly haven't lost a step. I mean, there's times where it's like, damn, I wish they were here, but the team's doing well without them. Like, they're like, nah, show's
Man,
got it.
that's another reason I'm sort of hesitant to trade anybody off this team, because I think the true role of each player is kind of exposing itself. Like, we went like 3 seasons, bro, where Jaylen fans were trying to force Jaylen down Sengun fans' throat, and Sengun fans are trying to shove Sengun down Jaylen fans' throat. And then you watch like the last like 15 games or so, like, say, since Tari got hurt, and it's kind of like, man, we've all been wrong, because I think both of those guys are better playing off of a mid. Like, I'm not saying we subscribe to the fact like build around a mid, but it's kind of like we go as a men goes. Like, he's the
And
centerpiece, the focus. Like, he kind of is a prime example of what the Rockets are:
yeah,
defense first, push the pace, attack the rim, and we Jalen plays off that well. Sengun plays. I mean, Men plays well off of Sengun. So it's just like, I can't trade. Let me see what you can do, and then we'll worry about getting rid of some people.
yeah, we were always like for the longest Shingun, Jalen, Shingun, Jalen, Shingun. But then Amin came in, dominated, and pretty much forced himself to be there. But he was like that missing puzzle piece in between both of them.
Yes,
Like, oh, y'all two need to connect. I will be that connection for you. I got you. You want to play off me? I got you, Jalen. Oh, you need my help also? I got you. And he's that glue guy on the offense for them both, but then on the defense, he's one of the best that we have on there. That's why Ime holds him to a other higher
and
caliber.
I just feel like Jabari and Dylan Brooks play off of anybody, like, because they're so selfless. Like,
Yeah,
they just go play basketball the right way, and whatever numbers they get, they get. So, like, that's kind of like a starting lineup right there. Like that's 5 legit players, and 4 of them are really good defenders. So that's why I was like, man, I can't just be breaking some shit up. You know what I mean? Because I think as the season goes on and then you get into the off season, we're going to revisit that conversation about who's untouchable again. Promise you that.
Yes. And I mean, as Rockets fans, I know they get mad at our videos when we're like, oh, we're in De'Aaron Fox trade talks. We're in Jimmy Butler trade talks. But honestly, like, it just is funny because they're going to swirl. You remember the years of the Boston Celtics having their picks, the OKC picks and all that stuff. They're still in trade talks, even though they're number 1 in the West. And when you have those, like you had said at the gym, you keep the league in kind of a chokehold because there's only so many picks.
Yes.
And you have a bunch of them. And it's like, oh,
that's the thing, bro, is you have everything in your favor because like you said like 2 days ago that you're so glad that we blew it up and then sucked a little bit and got better.
Yeah.
Because right now, at this point, you can kind of have the league by the balls as it pertains to transactions because you have everything in your favor from a business perspective. You just signed your projected 2 best players to rookie extensions. They're locked down. You got all these young dudes producing at a high level on rookie contracts. You brought these vets in on favorable contracts and they're outperforming them with the exception of Van Vliet. But his is such a short deal that, you know, it's either movable or you could get off of that. So like, why the hell am I going to bail some team out by taking on a bad contract and giving them a player or a pick or whatever? You can literally just play out what you have, see who's going to do what, like who's going to come and run with the dogs and go into the offseason and make a better decision. And you might get the same player for half the price.
Agreed.
Because honest to God, I only believe there to be like a handful, literal handful of players who could come in and make you an immediate true contender. And I don't think it's realistic to think you're going to get any of those guys. You're not going to get a Joker. You're not going to get a Luka. You're not going to get a LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So like, why blow this shit up for a Jimmy Butler or a De'Aaron Fox? It just doesn't make sense.
And we always talk about building a dynasty, building a team, you know, that is not just good for now, it's good for longevity. And it was so funny because we were talking about doing this video and Draymond Green off of Golden State. We always talk about it. They asked him if they were going to blow their team up. And he said, only bad teams do that. He goes, only bad teams make bad trades to try to win now when you have talent there.
Yes.
And he goes, when you have future, he goes, you can't, it's just in the NBA, those are just too much beautiful chips. I mean, we talked about it the other day. Phoenix we don't know what they're going to do. We go in their first pick. It could be a top 4 pick. It could be a top 10 pick. Either way, you could trade it. At the end of the year, it's like, okay, what do I want? All right. Oh, I don't want this player. Okay, cool. I mean, you have so much to go. You have, I think, 4 picks or 3 picks of Phoenix, depending on what they're going to do. You have some.
I think you got a swap or two. I think one of them might be or like you got a swap with Brooklyn or some shit. I don't remember what it is. But regardless, whatever it is, it's a trade. It's a bargaining chip, and I'm going to use them wisely. And I'm not a particular big fan of Raphael Stone. I really isn't. I give him credit for the James Harden trade. A lot of the picks that we took on, with the exception of Sengun and Tari Eason, I don't believe he had to work for. Like they fell into his lap. I'm glad they did because Jabari and Amen and them, they're great players. He did a really good job going to get Tari and Amen, and Sengun, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah. I mean, Cam was pretty much, he fell right to us. We were watching that draft and we were like, yes. Yes. I mean, he said it, Reed Shepard, he said he wanted him, and if he's not, he was going to trade out, and he got who he wanted. Those years of struggling after the Harden, where we couldn't name half of the players on the team because we didn't know who the hell they were.
My point is he did a couple years ago, he did really well in spending money in free agency. This past year, he did a really good job of not spending money where we didn't need to. So, like, from a business point of view, I'm hoping that he understands, like, don't do what you don't need to do just yet.
It's like the Steven Adams trade. When he made it, he was out for the year. And we had just did a video on we needed a center, and we were like, we'll trade for an injured for one. We both were like Williams. I think he was in
Robert
Portland at the
Williams
time.
was one. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, or Steven Adams, and we got Steven Adams, and then people were like, well, this is stupid. And I was like, yeah, that's for next year.
Yeah.
Next year when you're competing, which as we see the fruits of our labor, he planted the seed. He waited for it to grow, and that's the thing that we've been patient with. Jalen, Sengun, Amen, Jabari. The seeds were planted. The minute Ime got there, he's like, no. And it's just been growing slowly, and we're getting to watch these guys pretty much grow into NBA high caliber.
I feel like a coach like Ime, because we know how, I don't want to say we know how he operates, but like the way that he approaches the game, like a defensive mindset, physical, like he's not going to try to run anybody off the court and shoot all the threes. That's really not his thing. It's easier. Do you feel like it's easier for Stone to decide what kind of players to bring in? Because like he could look at a player and be like, I'll go get fucking Jordan Poole all day long if I want to, but he's not going to fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And yeah, I think like when we have Ime Udoka here, like we always talk about in sports that culture. Mm-hmm. We know the Texans, D'Amico is ahead of that culture. Like, are you a Texans D'Amico guy or not? And with the Rockets, it's the same thing. Like, you know who is an Ime Udoka guy out there. Like, whether it's offensively, defensively, the hustle, the defense, like all that stuff in general is like that guy is Ime Udoka guy. Like it's just for us that watch the team, we kind of know like, nah, we're not gonna trade for him. Like, nah, we wouldn't.
The reason that I wanted to do this video is because we were talking about all this, but that's not the question that I wanted to ask. The question that I want to ask is because I feel like there's a lot of people who agree with us in the sense like we should make a trade, either because we really like the guys that we have, or we really want to see where we are, or the case may be. But say the Rockets make the playoffs, a favorable position, we get to the playoffs and completely shit the bed though. Are you going to look back from that point and be like, we should have fucking made a trade? Or are you willing to bite the bullet at that point and live with the decision to like run what we brung? Because I'm willing to say, like, if we get to the playoffs and we run against a team like Golden State and they beat us 4-1, I'm not going to fucking be mad because those dudes have the experience in the playoffs and shit. And I'm not going to be like, man, we should have went to get De'Aaron Fox or some shit like that. So I just wonder if people will hold that energy.
I think there will be some. The people that aren't patient, the people that the same Texans fans that are like, we should have gone from one playoff game to Super Bowl contenders, like not the realistic mindset of it takes time to build this stuff. You're missing pieces to this puzzle and all that stuff. And with the Rockets, I feel it's either we're going to see people blossom like we've seen Amen Thompson do this year, where it's like, we need this. And then it's like, oh, he's blossoming into what we needed. And when we get to the playoffs, if we go against Golden State, we go up against a team, I'll say the Lakers with LeBron or something, it's a competitive game. Yeah, I expect that to be hard. Playoff games are totally different than regular season games. You're seeing these guys multiple times back to back, and it's like that experience is something that even with Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, and all them, you can't. I can tell you.
I find it really hard to get the out of my mind the fact that the teams that held it together win.
Boston,
Milwaukee held their core together, they got a chip. Denver held their core together, they got a chip. Boston held their core together, they got a chip. On the other hand, you have a dumbass team like Sacramento who like 2 years ago were lighting the beam. They were playing really good basketball and looked like they were going in the right direction. And then they do stupid shit like going and give a bunch of money to vets like DeMar DeRozan and these other cats. And you fucking suck. Like you're trying to recreate what was organic and it's Minnesota. Not there. But then all I could think about is a team like Cleveland is like you had a good young group. Y'all were trended in the right direction, and you fucked up and brought in a player like Donovan Mitchell, who at first he was doing good, but the team wasn't. But now y'all all figured it out together, and y'all look like the best in the East. So it's like, damn, can we get a Donovan Mitchell?
I think that
Is there a Donovan Mitchell to get?
That's the thing. I think like De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler right now at this age, I don't see you coming in and being like that.
That's the one name I can't get off of. That's the one name I can't get off of because I believe in my heart if you bring Devin Booker to the Rockets, he will make us better. For some fucking reason, bro, I feel like he's one of the only players who could. I don't want to say you realistically could get, but I think he would help us. I just don't want to know what we'd have to give up to get him.
The fact that they're trying to trade for Jimmy Butler, I think that Devin Booker one is. I mean,
I'm good wearing what we brung, bro.
Like,
I'm good. I'm watching Jaylen play with Amen. If those are my guards, I'm good with it.
Yes. I mean, watching this game with Jaylen versus Ja, like, I was like, I want Ja, but I mean, don't get me wrong, Ja's still better than Jaylen, but I'm like, I'm cool with what I got. Jaylen playing off of Amen.
Is he though?
Well, I mean,
I don't think Ja could play off of the ball as good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Like as a player wise, like I would probably pick Ja over Jaylen still, but off of the team that I'm playing, I'm cool with Jaylen. Like I don't want to take you out. Like now, if it's an Anthony Edwards, like that type of face of the NBA, then that's when we're hold on.
Sorry, Jaylen.
Who we talking about here? Because that's different. That's different caliber superstar. That's long term like publicity, big time NBA money coming into your city, like all stars, Team USA recognition. Like that's different. But
I look at Jalen Green, bro, and I'm telling you what, people are going to probably flame me for this comment here, but I see multiple seasons of 25 plus points in the very near future. I really do.
January Jalen Green has literally been exactly what we've wanted. We said give it time, and Amen literally figured it out with him, and they are hitting on all cylinders right now. You said it countless Rockets videos. Run. Nobody can go with y'all. And literally we're seeing that with Memphis in 2 games now. One team that was able to stop us.
You just cannot keep up with it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. He's a blur, just and that's what I say. I'm cool with what we have. I'm cool with if by February there's no trade. I'm cool with it. Like keep your depth, keep that and everything. Like if he wants to trade something like small to get some cap space or something for a move later on, then fine, whatever. I don't care. But or to get more picks for assets later, then whatever. But as of right now, I'm cool with what we have.
I'm cool with it. And then also I don't do well with change. Like I can look at our team and be like, we can match up with anybody if you use this player, this player, this player, this player. You know what I mean? And then Amen's just so good. Like he could play 1 through 4, bro. Like no disrespect, but he gave the Lakers the work. Like he literally guarded 1 through 4 and then made 1 through 4 guard him. And he was just kicking their ass. The dude, he creates so much problems.
And he threw Tyler Hero like a bag of groceries.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Anywho, keep our boys at the house. I'm good with not doing
Team
nothing.
No trade. All you
unless a Giannis pops up or something, I ain't willing to trade nothing.
If it was a big name like that, then we'll come back to this. But as of right now, the names De'Aaron Fox, yeah, you good, bro? I don't want you though.
Nope.
So
well, they say you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Hold right now. Houston, let us know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there a player out there that you think will make us better? I know some of you were saying De'Aaron Fox, Devin Booker. Sadly, some of you are saying other names that I don't really care for, but whatever, hey, that's your opinion. If you want Julius Randle and all these other bums,
you better don't even start that.
I'm trying to think of a bum. I was like, oh, who's the guy? Like, yeah. But other than that, Houston, all love. Be safe. Make sure you like, subscribe. We're out of here. Later.